We are going to be talking about Canva. We're going to jump right into it. I thank you all for joining us today. As Ann said, my Canva experience was quite some time ago. You're going to find that Canva has evolved just as we have evolved, just as Toastmasters has evolved. Canva has evolved with all of the different options and things that you can do with regards to your business or in this case, working for Toastmasters. I use Canva. I've already asked a few, and I'm going to ask again how many of you actually use Canva, if you've never heard of it. If you've seen it, maybe you clicked on the button and then you clicked out because you said, that doesn't look like I can do it. I want to be able to provide whatever assistance I can to jump right in, or if you're already in, here's what I did or didn't know about Canva. Essentially, if I can do it, anyone can. When I first found Canva, Canva was quite some years ago. And so at one point in time, I just kind of jumped in there to start creating social media posts. You're going to see that Canva now offers a number of different options, not just with social media posts, but for instance, maybe if you're doing flyers or you're doing business cards, you're doing presentations, there's a number of different opportunities that are out there for you. So let me just ask first, and you can put in the chat, especially since we're recording this, tell me what your experience is with Canva. Do you use Canva? Use it daily? I know some people said they use it daily. Do you not know what Canva is at all? And if you can do me a favor and just check in the chat if there are folks that say they've never used it at all. I definitely want to make sure that I'm touching base on some things for them.
Will do.
I did see some questions that came through prior to the event. Thank you, Ann, for sharing. I'm going to try and touch base on them, but if you still want to put in the chat, hey, I know Canva very well, but this aspect of Canva, I really want to know more about. Put that in the chat as well. And we're going to try and get to as much of that as we can. But more importantly, let's see how much experience or knowledge the folks on here have with regards to chat Canva.
Leslie, we're getting response. Never used Canva before. Attempted, but really need more guidance. Only basic use of Canva.
Okay.
And that's me too. Only basic use. I struggle with it. So we don't have a lot of experience with Canva and being able to manage it.
Yay! Guess what? You all are like me, so that's okay. I do use Canva now quite often. I heard some people say they use it daily. I do use it often. Ann asked me, she's like, do you use the free version or the paid version? There are levels of Canva. I use the paid version, but what I'm going to be referring to is the free version, because if you've never used Canva, you can go on there for free and knock around and figure out how it can work for you. And then you can figure out whether you want to go beyond that afterwards. All right. So Canva, as we know, it is an online design platform, and it allows you to create eye-catching presentations, and it is very user-friendly. It truly is. If you're a student, a professor, it doesn't matter. It offers a number of different interfaces with a number of different tools. They do have step-by-step guides available to you. However, what I'm going to walk you through is the bare essentials so that it makes it easy for you to design anything and publish anywhere. All right. If you've never heard of Canva, well, 75 million people are active users of Canva, at least up at this last statistic, and I'm sure even more. And there are about 5 million subscribers. Subscribers refers to those folks that, for the most part, are using it quite often and at a paid prescription platform. So they are deep into it. I say, if they can all figure it out, I know we can figure it out. So we're going to be all right. All right. I'm going to walk you through really what we're going to do, I understand we have 90 minutes here. I know it's a Saturday morning. It's going to be very laid back, but I want to make sure I touch base. The agenda, just so you'll know what we're going to be doing. I am going to just talk about very briefly Canva in general as a box. Here's what it is. Here's what you do. We're going to walk through creating a post. So I'm going to show you how to create a post in general. I'm going to also talk about Toastmasters, because we're all Toastmasters here. What can you use to create Toastmaster post and how it navigates with Toastmasters brand portal. And then I'm going to try to leave at least 20 minutes. Hopefully, I'm going to try to leave at least 20 minutes of open time just for you to, if you want to get on while you're here and jump through Canva and try to navigate some things yourself, here to be able to answer some questions for you. So I hope that works for everybody. Give me a thumbs up if that sounds okay. All right, thank you. So very quickly, so the sign up process for Canva, as I mentioned, I'm going to show you when we actually dive into Canva. There is a free access. By all means, you'll want to take advantage of that, because then you can just kick around and figure out how it can work for you and go from there. If you look on the side here, every single post that I'm going to show you as we go through this slide presentation is a Canva post that I myself have created. And so just to show you, some of the posts may be Toastmasters posts, some of them might be a personal post. This is actually a post that I did. When I say a post means it is a social media, let's say postcard, if you will, that you can post on Instagram, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, somewhere out in the social media world, you can place this post. Posts I'm going to talk about later can also be converted to flyers. They can be converted to mailers. They can be converted to whatever else you might like. Again, here's another post that I did specific to Toastmasters, and we'll talk about that. There's a dashboard in Canva that you're going to see, and it's going to be very easy to navigate, because it walks you through how to create a design. It has even templates that you can actually use, which we'll talk about the branding, and you can create your post accordingly. Here's another post that I've done. It's all about sizing, the different dimensions, depending on whether you're posting to social media, or you're creating a flyer, or you're creating a word slide or a document. There are different dimensions, but fortunately, and I will say Canva has just recently made a lot of updates to this, it walks you through that. What is it that you're looking to create? So I love about Canva, it's being so user-friendly and giving us so many different options out there. Here's an idea. This is actually a postcard that I created. So you can create postcards. And as you can see, you can easily use some of the Toastmasters branding. There's more Toastmaster branding, but you can use it to create whatever it is that you would like. You can use it to create certificates, particularly for Toastmasters. If your club has awards or certificates or any accolades that you want to create for your club, you can do so by using Canva. They actually have this template, and you can just add on. As you can see, I just added on the Toastmaster branding, added on the names, put in some of that information. Just another option of how you can use the program. I'm going to talk about how you can upload images and graphics, where to put them in, what type of file format you're going to use. And we'll talk a little bit about copyright and permissions, whether you're using Toastmasters branding or you're using another form of, another form of branding that you may have to consider copyright issues. Okay. Once you'll see, I'll walk you through the library. Once you start Canva and you get hooked, because my intention is that everybody will get hooked on it, you will be able to create your own library where once you create a post, because once you do that first one and you want to come back and do a second one, it'll be easy peasy lemon squeezy. You can just take your old post and start pulling it apart and adding stuff to it. That's the nice piece about Canva. Okay, this is just another idea of a post that I had done where you can actually integrate Toastmasters, events, flyers, or postcards, and we'll talk about backgrounds. Okay, so I hope that I'm not going too fast. I will ask, I should have said, if there are any questions at all that you have in the interim, because I can't necessarily see the chat. I'll try to make sure I stop to make sure we can ask for questions. But if it is something that can be held to the end, till after I do the first post, because there's going to be so much information, I'll ask that you hold it till then. But Ann will she'll jump in and tell me if there's a pressing question I need to get on top of right away. All right. And so again, I told you we'll talk about file formats. This is, again, Rhonda mentioned about an open house. This is one we did for our Bluebell when we had an open house. We created our own flyer. We'll talk a little bit about team collaborations. One thing that Canva does offer now that they didn't always offer when I first joined is that you can actually use Canva in tandem with some of the folks in your group. So for instance, if you have a vice president of membership and your VPPR, and you both want to collaborate creating Canva posts or flyers or what have you, you can actually work on the same document together. So you can actually create teams, which is a really nice feature. And then we'll talk a little bit about Canva Pro. If you should decide to use Canva Pro, there's a whole lot of different options that are available to you there as well. All right, I'm going to escape out of here. And I'm going to ask very quickly, that is the slide presentation of Canva, but I am going to jump right into Canva just based off of, like I said, that's the nuts and bolts of what we're going to talk about for today. If there's anything else that you're going to see or come up for you as we kind of walk through here, just please let me know. All right. All right, I'm going to minimize this a little bit. There we go. All right. So I'm going to go. So I am now actually into Canva. Maybe I'll back up a bit. I don't know. Let's see. All right, here we go. Are we ready, ladies? So here's the thing about Canva. When you open up Canva, there's a lot of stuff out here. There's a lot. And and just recently, Canva, actually, they had a workshop just last week on new integration of some things that they're doing. So when you first walk in here, it can seem intimidating because you're not sure, where do I go? All right. I'm going to start just first with the planning and the pricing. I'm going to go to planning and the pricing, and I'm going to show you how to create a design. So the idea is, don't get flustered by all of this that you see. Walk through the steps that I give you to create your first post. Once you do that, all the rest of this stuff sometimes becomes a little clearer to you. All right. So I'm going to scroll over here. When you go to Canva to sign up, they do have different options that are available to you. So again, there is the free option here. I don't know if you guys can see my mouse. There is the free option. There is a pro option, and then there is a teams option. So as I mentioned to you, free, you can get in, you can design with ease. Pro has a little bit, They have some additional features that you can use. And team is if you are looking to collaborate. And let me say, while we're talking about this with Toastmasters, this is something that too, you may be able to use outside of Toastmasters for whatever your profession might be. Maybe you're working in an environment where you do have to put presentations together, or you're doing some marketing for other organizations. You might want to consider this as well. If you go in, oops, scroll back out. Oh, here we go. If you go into either one of these, there is a comparative that shows you the pricing. See if I can click down here to show it to you. So again, here are the different prices. We love zero, but there is Canva Pro and there's Canva for Teams. This is at the yearly. You can actually click on monthly so you can see what you would be paying monthly. So depending on what dollar amount looks a little nicer to you, you can click on whichever one, and it'll show you down here the features. It does a nice compare to show you everything that you will get depending on what platform which level you decide to choose. Okay. But here's the thing. What I love about the free version is that it gives us so much. It gives us so much, and we're going to walk through, because you're getting over 250,000 templates. That's a lot of templates. I think I can use this for a while. You get 100+ design types. Are we going to ever use 100 types? Not today. So that seems fine. And you get access to 1 million different photos and graphics, which I will show you when we walk through. Also, with each and every one of these platforms, whether you decide to use the free, the pro, or the team, you're still going to be able to create a post. You're still going to be able to create a post that you can post wherever or however you would like. And it is yours and you will own it. Okay. Any initial questions about the pricing at all? And you'll have to tell me if anybody asks. So let me make sure I stop.
Trying to find my unmute. Nope, there are no questions.
Yay. Okay. All right. Let's get back out of here. All right. When you walk into Canva and you set up Canva, you are going to see a platform similar to this. I do apologize. I have a pro version. So if there's some things that you may see that may say pro, those things, they try to differentiate that so that you can see that it's pro versus the free. But when you get in, for the most part, this is what you're going to see. Again, do not be intimidated. I'm going to walk you through the steps. Let's just create a post. Let's ignore everything we see right here. We're going to walk through this later. Right now, for the purpose of this workshop, we want to create a post for social media. For the most part, what I'm hearing, at least from a Toastmaster standpoint, a lot of us may be looking for avenues to promote our club, whether to promote it on social media or to create a flyer. Again, I told you there's certificates and other things that you can do, but I know that from the conversation or from the feedback we got, this seems to be the lion's share of where some of our folks are looking to navigate. So I'm going to show you how we can create one of those posts that I actually did for Toastmasters. Clear and simple. When you actually sign up for Canva, see my little mouse? You're going to get a little profile. It'll ask you if you want to add your picture. You can make it just as pretty as you want. It goes through all of that with Zoom. It'll ask you what version you want. It takes you through all of the things similar to any other setup design. It's very easy. So I'm not going to walk through that with the interest of time. But when you actually get your full sign-on and your password, you're going to always open up and see this button that says create a design. Canva just wants to know, what do you want to do today? I just want to create a design. Okay. When you go in to create a design, there are a number of different options that you can choose. There are a whole lot more than there were when I started Canva. So that's the nice thing. For the most part, I saw some folks that asked about, well, can I create it in a Word doc? Yes, you can. If you want to do a whiteboard, certainly you can. We want to just do a Facebook post. A Facebook post, and I'm just going to say for simplicity's sake, so you don't have to overwhelm yourself, look, a social media post is a social media post, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, what else? What's left? Snapchat, doesn't matter. A post is a post. Don't overwhelm yourself with, oh my gosh, if I do a Facebook post, is that the same as an Instagram? Is that the same as a LinkedIn? Look at them as all as the same. It makes your life so much easier. Okay. So it will say here, and it really has to do with sizing, but I'll tell you, sizing really isn't that much of an issue, whether you choose one or the other. So you want to pick a Facebook post or an Instagram post, which most folks do. There are other options, which I'll go through after we do our first post. As you can see, don't get overwhelmed with all of this that you see here. There's so many other different things that you can do with Canva. You can create flyers, documents, slides, and whatnot, but we'll talk about all of that later. We just want a social media post to market our club. I'm going to click on it here into a Facebook post. All right. Regardless of what you are creating, this is your table. Look at it as your desk. Okay. So this is your desk right here. And here are all of the items that you have access to. This is your table of all of the different things that you can use to create your post. Here's our blank post. All right. Very simple, right? When you come in here, your platform will always look the same, regardless, for the most part, I'll say, regardless of what it is that you're creating. If you look over here, this is a table of all of the different tools that you can use in Canva to create your post. Scroll all the way down. Again, for simplicity's sake, I'm going to tell you what you might want to just refer to in the beginning. Just in the beginning. We're not going to overwhelm ourselves. For the most part, you are going to use your elements, and I'm not going to click on it yet, your elements, your text. I'm going to scroll down, and uploads. Just giving you 3. Right? We can get into all of the other ones other ones later. So you're going to be going into your elements, text, or your uploads. Okay, I can deal with that. 3 things. All right. So let's just say that I'm going to start with elements first. When I click on elements, Elements has a lot of information here, a lot of tools that you can use. One of the things that I love about Canva, which you'll find with any table that we use, it's an easy plug and play. Anything that you see over here that you can use, it's all about just pulling it over. Watch this. It's just that simple. If you want to get rid of it, oh, I didn't mean to use that. You just take it off. It is just that simple. When you go into any one of these tables, when you go into elements, you will see up at the top, there's a search bar menu. Once you start using Canva and you get really, when you become the professional, which you guys will, because you'll start diving in here, maybe you'll already know what element you want. In the meantime, don't worry about it, because even if you don't know what you're searching for, you have this bar here where my mouse is that shows you all of some of the different elements you can use. I'm going to click on some of them. Arrows. Maybe you want to use different arrows. right? Maybe you want to use different graphics of arrows, photos of arrows. See how arrow came up in the search bar? Videos of arrows, shapes of arrows, all types of things just in relation to arrows, right? But let's just say, and see how I just click back out, just click right back to elements and it brings me back to everything. You can do that for any one of these items that are here. So if you're looking for arrows, you're looking for different types of lines, you're looking for different types of circles, you're looking for hearts, squares, shadows, rectangles. You see it goes on, right? You can start navigating that way, or if I scroll down here, recently used, this means anything that you may have used before. So remember I told you when you can create a post and maybe you want to go back in and create a new one, it'll bring up what you've used before. You can even scroll down here. It'll show you shapes. If you say see all, it'll show you all the different shapes that we were just talking about. Graphics, which is what I talked about. You can pick out a ton of different graphics. It goes on and on when you click on it. This is a new tool, AI generator. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I'm going to skip that for the intents of getting a post done. Stickers. As you can see, some of our stickers are movable. Depending on the platform you have, some stickers, movable stickers may or may not come with your free version, but I can tell you a lot of them do. Photos. There are all different types of photos you can use. Photos and videos. Canva uploads, as it mentioned, over 250,000 templates and videos. You will see there are a ton of photos here and videos here, but you can also search for photos. You can actually put in, say, I want a photo of, I'm going to say, girls dancing. Well, let me do this. I'll go this way to make it easier. So if I go into photos, it brings up a ton of different photos. It'll go on forever. And it says here, search photos. So maybe I want photos of girls dancing. Put in girls dancing. And it brings up all of the different images that you can use. Now, as you can see, I have a pro version. So it will tell you if it's a pro version, but if it's a free clip that you can use, you'll see there is no marking right here. And you won't even, well, I think they will still show you this because they're trying to get you to buy pro. But if you want, you can always just scroll and look for the free version. This one here is free. So say if I just want to use girls dancing, here's a free one. I'm just going to pull it over. All right. I'm going to show you about the sizing and whatnot in a moment. All right. So again, I'm going to scroll back down. So there's photos. There's also videos that you can use depending on if you want to use videos. Charts, tables, frames. There's a lot of other things. I don't want to overwhelm. We're just going to do a really simple post. All right. And we can dive into all of this if you guys want to afterwards. So let's just say I have my picture. This is what I want. Okay, Leslie, now I'm ready to add some text. I just need to get some text in here because I'm doing a flyer for Toastmasters or a post for my club. That was the elements feature. As you can see, there's a lot in there. I'm just going to come right over here to text and click on text. Right. Again, as you become familiar with Canva, you'll be able to search for whatever text you want. You'll actually be able to, you can pull in your own branding of text if you want, but there's so much out here. The easiest thing I can show you, of course, with regards to text, is all it is just adding a text box. Right? So if I want to add a text box, they have the different sizes here. This, and I'm just going to show you for our intents and purposes, if when you click on it, see how it moved over here underneath my photo, add a heading. Once you pull over your text, you can use your mouse just like you would any other computer, any other keyboard, and type in. You can unhighlight this and type in what you want. Open house today. That's it. We're going to load all of our stuff on our table, and then we're going to arrange it. Okay. So we know we got a picture and we know that we got a text. With regards to text, there are a number of different ways to navigate changing your text, right? Canva, as I mentioned, has so many different options. Maybe you already know what size you want. Maybe you don't. I always say start with this size. Why? Because I can see it. I don't know about you, but I can't see what I'm typing when it's smaller. It's easier to start with this size and then make it the size that you want when you're ready to start putting your poster together. Coming back over here to my little table, as you can see, there are a number of different fonts and combinations of fonts that you can use in Canva. A lot of these, I know some of these say free, pro, but there are a lot of them that are free, as you can see. Maybe you already see a font that you'd like to use. Don't worry about what the word says. When you pull the font over, I'll show you, for example, if I use this boo, I can still change it to whatever I want it to say. Right? It's editable text, so you could still change it. But maybe you already know you want to use that particular font. You can do that. I'm going to take it off because I'm not using it today. All right. So look at that. There are a ton that you can use. And once you can go in, it just shows you what it'll look like, but you can always go in and edit this text to make it read whatever it is that you want it to read. But you can also start with a blank slate, which is what we just did. Okay. So remember, I said there's only 3 things we're going to be using today to do this post: elements, text, upload. So I'm going to skip brand and I'm going to go to uploads. Notice every time you click on your table, your little desk doesn't move. We're still here. Everything still stays here, right? Every feature, every element that you go into has a search option, right? Uploads refer to anything that you want to use custom to yourself. So it's something that you weren't able to find in Canva and you want to use it yourself. So maybe it's a picture. As you can see, sometimes I use barcodes. It can be a video. It can be whatever document it is that you want to use in your flyer that Canva doesn't have. As you can see, you can upload images, you can upload video, you can upload audio. For us, we're just doing a post. So right now, we're not worried about videos and audio and all of that right now. We just want to create a post. Here, what it will always show you is what you have recently uploaded. This will be your blank slate. Once you start, I know some of you've used Canva. If you've never used Canva before, you won't see all of these things that are here because these are all things that I've used. So this is my own table. Once you start using Canva and you start uploading your own images, it will retain your images up here. So you can use them a number of times, which is so nice. Look, they're saying. So you can rest assured, once you pull something in here and put it on your table, it will always be here. All right. Now, scrolling as I'm looking, Toastmasters has a brand portal, which I'll touch base on in a moment. I'm going to try to get to my Toastmasters post. Toastmasters has their own brand portal, so they have their own images and likenesses that you can actually use in your post as you're creating them. There are things that we'll mention again about, of course, they're very specific to the integrity of how we're using their post, their branding, where we're using it, how we're using it, the colors that we use that are associated with it. Toastmasters is very specific to that. However, as long as you are using in the best interest of Toastmasters and along with how it's intended, they intend you to use it, have a ball. These right here, so if I'm clicking here, I scrolled all the way down to my table. These are actually post images that I got directly from Toastmasters brand portal. Show you how we'll go in there. You can go into toastmasters.org. I have one up. I'll show you after we finish. And you can pull down any of the Toastmaster. They have a whole table full of images, logos, PNG files, what have you, that you can pull over, and you can easily upload them into Canva. Quick, how do you do it? Once you download the image, just like you would download any other image that you want to use, when you come to Canva, you will click on Upload Files, which is right here. I'm just going to click on it for the sake of us saying we were going to use a new one. And it's just going to go right to your desktop. This is my own personal folder. You would have saved that image right here in your desktop, whatever file you want to hold it in, and it'll just ask you to click the file. Say if I wanted to use this, and open. I'm going to show you how it'll bring it back up. It's going to be all the way up at the top though. I'm going to scroll up here just to show you. See? Pulls it right in. So that's how you're going to actually upload your Toastmasters logos, pictures. Maybe you have pictures of your club or some of your members and you want to showcase them and you want to pull their pictures in. Or maybe you have your own pictures that you want to use. That's how you will pull it in. Now, I'm going to try to find my Toastmasters. I should have pulled it up to the top so I would be able to do this. As you can see, I use Canva quite a bit. This is all me. Because once you start using this, you're going to go, oh my gosh, I can do this. I can do that. I'm telling you, if I can do it, anybody can. I'm going to see if I can find, hold on, my Toastmasters logo. I don't know if it'll let me search. Let me see. Maybe it'll do me a favor and let me search for it. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll get lucky. Yay! There you go. So right here this is the Toastmaster logo that I was referring to that is in the brand portal that is on the Toastmasters website. I use it quite often. I will tell you, when you use this logo, Toastmasters, and you'll see it in the brand portal documentation, it is not to be altered in any way, shape, or form. You can use it on your flyer, but you need to use it in the shape and format of which it is downloaded. So when I downloaded it and added it, very similar to the way I just did the last one, this is how you will use it. Again, an easy plug and play. I downloaded it. I'm just going to pull it over. Oops, pull it over. And here's the other thing. Sometimes you pull it over a picture. There we go. We don't want it to replace that picture. I'm going to use my arrows. Does everybody see my little black arrows? I'm going to make it a little smaller. When you want to make and size something, which I'm going to show you again, this little purple box around here shows you how you can make your images bigger or smaller. I'm going to show you all of that in a second. All right, but just back over here to our table where I am. Okay, so again, these are all of the images that you can use to pull in your your own images, I should say, if you ever want to upload your own images to use for your flyers. Okay. So those are the only 3 things that we use today just to create this flyer. Now let's come back over here to our table. Right. So as you can see, as I move my mouse, certain things happen, right? Right now, with my little mouse here, I hope you can see my little white mouse, this whole square lights up in purple. This is the size of your social media post. Meaning, if I were to save this file as it is right now, this is what the post will look like. It will have this white background. You may want it to have this background, you may not. There are backgrounds that you can actually use too. I'm gonna scroll down. Oh, let me come back over here to the table real quick. I'm all the way back over here where it says down here, backgrounds. Does everybody see where I am? There are backgrounds. You can choose different backgrounds if you like. They have a big color palette. I'm going to click on the color palette. Say I want to use a blue color palette. You can also do that, right? Or maybe you don't really want a colored palette background. Maybe you want to use, I'm going to back. Maybe you want to use this picture as your entire social media post. If you want to do that, I call it filling the space. So think of it as a blank piece of paper. So when you go to put this picture down on this piece of paper, you want it to, no, I want the whole piece of paper to look like this post. Here's where you take your mouse and you're going to see how I have highlighted the picture now. All you do is take your little mouse, move it over to the picture, click on it. You get these little dots over here and a little triangle there, dot there, triangle there. That means I can size this. Watch. All I can do is go to the corner. You can go to this corner where see where my little black mark is? I can go to this corner. I can go to this corner. It doesn't matter what corner you go to. I can go to this corner. I can go to this corner. It really doesn't matter. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. You're going to click on it, hold your mouse down and pull it. Just pull it. See how I pulled? Same thing. Say if I want to go here and I just want to pull it. You're just going to pull it. If I go here, I want to pull it. All you want to do. Right? And again, I keep saying, I keep alluding to it. Canva has a number of ways that all of this stuff can happen for us differently, but we're just going to go, I just want to create a post without going through a whole lot of headache. All right. So we already said you can either make a background and keep your picture as it is. You can make your picture smaller, pull it in, or pull it out. That's all. Pull it in or pull it out. If you have these little up here, now I'm in the middle of the picture. I'm hoping you can see my little mouse where I have my little black arrows. You can bring the pictures up or down. I'm going to bring this one down. And I'm just going to work with this to make it the size that I want. And all I'm going to do is just make sure I fill my whole page. That's all I did. Okay. So now I have this, I want to do something with this Toastmasters logo. So I'm going to unclick it. And as you can see, this is my post. This whole thing is my post. Now I have this Toastmasters logo. I want my Toastmasters logo. I don't want it in the middle. I want it over here in the corner. Just pull it where you need. See where it has the little, so when you highlight like this is the sizer that I was referring to, similar to the picture. You can make it bigger by pulling it, or make it smaller. Make it bigger or make it smaller. Once you do that, if you put your mouse in the middle, unselect, and put your mouse in the middle of your, wait a minute, hold on, here we go. Put your mouse here on top of the logo. You can pull it wherever you need. Maybe you want to pull it down here. Put it wherever you want. It's yours. I'm just going to pop her right here and unselect. That's it. Okay. Now, the last piece I have is I've got this open house today. I'm going to scroll down. You can hardly see it because it's in black, but I'm going to hold on to, you see how the purple goes around it? That means you are working on this one right now. I'm going to drag this one. I'm going to pull it up here where I can see it. It's the same thing. All right. Now with, ignore the magic, right? That's a new feature. With text, typically there are, again, a number of things that you can do with text. You can make it bigger or smaller, typically by using, see my little black arrows again? My black arrows will pull me in or pull me out. Pull me in or pull me out. Also, however, you have, whenever you click on text, you're going to get a menu bar. So look above here on your table. You've got a menu bar. Here's my little finger. Very similar to what we see like in Microsoft Office or PowerPoint or what have you. You can change your fonts. You can change the size of your fonts. As you can see, it scrolls over and it tells you. These are the different fonts you can use. Look at that. When I click on fonts, maybe I want to use, they have so many. There's so many. Maybe I'm just going to say for the intents and purposes of this, I just want to use a basic font. Let's just say Merriweather. I just want to use a Merriweather font. You can use a Merriweather font. And if you notice, your font changed to, the open house today changes to the font that you want to use. If you ever want to get out of this font, just click back on your table. Just always come back to your table here. Your table is your little white, your whole big platform right here, your desk. Right? This is the font size. You can change the font size. We're going to leave it as it is. I'm just looking at time, making sure we have time. This is the font size. This is the font color. If I click on here, look, when I click on here, here comes a whole table of all the different colors that I can use for my font. Right now it's black. You see, I click on white. Look what happens to open house today. It changes to white. Maybe that's a little easier for me to see. But as you start navigating, you'll find that you can use a number of different colors. They even have a, I'm not going to click on it, but they even have a template where you can create your own custom colors. We just want black. We just want some white font for right now because we think that's easier for us to see. When I'm finished with this, I'm just going to click back on my table. Take my mouse over here and just click back on my table. Okay. Here is bold, just like any other, just like as you use any other product. If you want to make it bold, you can make it bold. If you want to make it italics, you can make it italics. Right? And again, we're just going to make it simple for today. Just open house today. Right? This is alignment. This means if you have, say, if you have document and you want the, if you have text and you want it aligned to the left, as you can see, when I clicked on the left, it moves to the left. This is spread out amongst the entire section that you have. and they have to the right, askew to the right, whichever one you want to do. You don't have to do anything. You can just leave it as it is and just move it where you want to. It's really up to you. There are other features in here too, as far as if you're doing a list. Very similar, if you're familiar and comfortable with, I'll say if anybody's familiar with Microsoft Office, Word, PowerPoint, it's the same thing. You can do list, you can use bullet points, you can move things ups and down. It's totally up to you. I'm going to click on effects. If you click on effects, look what happens over here. You can change even the font format. Maybe you want to add a little flair to it. There are different options that you can add on here to your font. And it's all a plug and play. Try and see if you like it. You see, I clicked on here. I don't like it. Just unclick it. Right? Oops, except I didn't unclick it. Oh, I did unclick it. Yep. I'm not going to go into the whole style thing, but there's a whole lot of different things you can do with regards to that too. But we're just creating a simple font. We want to make this just as easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, I'm going to come out of here. All right. This is my simple font. I'm going to jump to, if there's any questions with regards to font formatting, navigating through Canva, we're going to talk about this, but I want to give us some time to have questions, go back and look at some other things as well. I want to jump into what do you do now that you have this thing sitting on your table? I'm all ready. Well, now what do I do? Right? You're going to go back up here where your face is, and there's a button that just says share. This share actually has a download feature. I'm going to click on it. I have some things up here only because I use Pro. So say if you were using it, if you had Teams and you wanted to share it with somebody because you want them to look at it, you can do all of that. You're just wanting to create a font. You want to download it. Just scroll down to, ignore all of this at the front. Don't worry about it. All you're looking for is a download button. That's it. I'm ready to use it. Click download. All right. Whenever you create a post in Canva, and depending on how you start out, we started off as a social media post. So say if you were doing a Word document or a PowerPoint presentation, Canva is always going to give you a suggestion of how you should save that font, save that post. Totally up to you how you want to save it. My suggestion is to use the PNG file format. There are two formats that primarily you're going to use when you're uploading to any form of social media. It's JPEG or PNG, because depending on whether you're using LinkedIn, Instagram, or Facebook, some of them, not all of them, take the same file format. The PNG file format is the one most commonly used. It is the one that is the easiest to navigate. So, and as you see, Canva even suggests you use the PNG. So use the PNG file format. JPEG works a lot, but I know that there are some social media platforms where JPEG is not compatible. So when you go to upload it, it won't upload. Use PNG. All right. What I love about Canva is you don't have to worry about size. You don't have to worry about, well, is it going to be big enough? Is it going to be small enough? You don't have to worry about any of that, because all you said is, I'm creating a post. Canva said, we'll do the rest. It already put in there what size it's going to be. You don't need to adjust the size. You're just creating a post. For the intents and purposes of creating a simple post, don't worry about transparent, any of this, the background, compressed file, download settings. Don't stress yourself out with that. And as you can see, a lot of these things are in Pro, so you may not even see it there, but if you do, don't worry about it. Just click on your download button. And here's what it does. it creates a file. I don't know if you can see. I got my bar up here, so I don't know if you can see. Here it is. Here's your file. And it'll save it directly to your drive, just like you upload pictures. And the cool thing about it is if you didn't see it, or you're like, where did it go? Canva will always say, here it is. If you didn't see it, click here and it'll do it again. And here's where it's saved. And I'm going to open up where it's saved. Ta-da! There's my post. Right? And so now you can save this in your file, save this in your folder, and you can feel free to upload it wherever it is you want to upload your document, wherever you want to upload your post. If you're uploading it to social media, Facebook, Instagram, or what have you. If there's questions about how to do that, we can walk through that, but it's just like going in to start a post and pulling it up. We can walk through that at the end if you want, but this is essentially your post. So I showed you how to pull in your own graphics, how to pull in your own text, pull in your picture, and we talked about backgrounds. All right. So I'm going to stop there only for a second and ask if there's any initial questions. If not, I'm going to take you through, we're going to go back all the way back to the beginning of Canva and walk through some other things. Any questions so far that maybe I should address?
I'm looking.
I'm going to minimize this. I want to get out of my post.
So far, nothing.
Okay. Does it all make sense for anybody that has not used Canva before?
Give a thumbs up if it does.
Yep.
And your reaction.
So
See,
those,
yeah.
how's it looking?
Yeah, thumbs up.
Okay.
Sheila, yeah. Excellent from Grizel. Learned a lot. Yep.
Great. The main thing that I wanted to make sure is that you realize, I'm going to click home and go all the way back home. The main thing that I wanted to make sure you saw is that when you open up a platform and that has so much going on, sometimes you just need to know, just give me what I want. So that's why we walk through just creating a very simple platform. The cool thing about Canva is that it's really just that, a Canva. You can pull things in, you can pull things out. You can make it look the way you want to. You can make things bigger, you can make things smaller. There is no shortage of all the different things that you can do with regards to Canva and creating your platform. Okay. So lastly, before because I really want to leave a lot of time for questions and maybe walking through doing another post. I want to just walk through a few of the bazillion features that are out here on Canva. When I first started Canva, it did not have all of this. So this is how I know Canva is the thing to use. As I mentioned, when you, oh, wait, let me do this first. Let me talk about Toastmasters brand portal really quick. I'm gonna move my toolbar so I can share with you the brand portal. When I mentioned Toastmasters brand portal, you can see my screen. We'll scroll all the way up to the top. You can go into Toastmasters.org. I put the email address up there, Toastmasters.org, under resources, or you can even just put in brand portal or brand manual, and it will bring up this document. When you bring up this document, as you can see, it is 37 pages long. But for the most part, it has a number of the images that you can use for Toastmasters. I'm going to scroll through As you can see, it gives you a lot of information. Right here in the table of contents, it has specifically the images, the logos. I think it's probably all the way at the end. Images, logos, and icons that you can use to download and use in Canva, or to use in any platform that you want. I'm going to scroll through here quickly to show you. The cool thing about the brand portal that I do love about Toastmasters is on each page, which they did not, a lot of this is new, so I'm very grateful for it. On each page, for instance, if you decide that you want to use the logo, they're very specific about how to use the logo, what's acceptable and what is not. As I mentioned, the easiest thing is when you download the logo, just use it the way it is. Make it bigger or make it smaller. What I do like, and when you go right here to download, it'll tell you exactly here where you can download the logo. And these are other items that you can actually use. It shows you all of the different graphics that you can use. What I love about it is that this page here is my favorite because it tells me exactly how I should or should not be using the logo. So as I mentioned here, these are all the do nots. Don't skew it. Don't make it big. Don't make it too, as you see, this one is a little too wide. This one's a little too short. I would say for the most part, you're just making your logo either bigger or smaller. And of course, they have different things with regards to the coloring, background, what to use and what not to use. So this is really nice because it kind of walks you through, here's how much you can manipulate the items that they're allowing you to download. And then it even goes into the color palette. This is the preferred color palette when you're doing your flyers. As you can see, some of the flyers that I did, I stayed to the color palette, the burgundy, the blue, and the gray. There's a lot of information in here that you can use. It even goes in, I think it even goes into, as you see, I pulled some of these in. I think it even goes into the font. You can use badges. Maybe you're doing something, you're using badges. And it even goes in here to the fonts. I use a lot of different fonts, quite honestly. They give this as a preferred font, the Gotham font, and there are a lot of fonts that are very similar to it. I think for the most part, they just want you to just keep the integrity of Toastmasters flyers and that they look professional and they go with the Toastmaster brand. That's the key for using these items. But they give you a lot of information. And again, even into images and photography. I will tell you very quickly with regards to photos, they will walk through a number of different photos that you can use and download. As you can see, a lot of these photos are very similar to what you may see in Canva already. The difference might be, as you can see, I'm pointing to this one. This one looks like it's specifically a Toastmasters meeting because it has the Toastmasters logo on the table. But you'll find when you start navigating Canva, a lot of these posts look very similar. So you may be able to still use those too, but they've certainly given you these. So I'm not going to go through the entire thing, but make sure you're referring to this brand manual when it comes to Toastmasters and using their logos. Okay. All right. All right, I'm gonna go, time flies when you're having fun. All right, I'm gonna go through two things then that are happening with Canva now that may make your life easier, but I don't want to overwhelm you, so that's why I save it to the end. Canva has just recently integrated, you'll see when you open up Canva, and I believe it's whether you have a free version or a paid version, Meet the Magic Studio. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with this new AI initiative. The AI initiative is this new integration of allowing, whoops, oh, I got out of here somewhere. Wait, there we go. Of allowing AI, Canva to do the work for you. So maybe we walk through doing a post. So we walk through 3 steps, just pull it in, plug and play, save it, done. Maybe you already know what you want and you don't want to really go through all of that. So they have this new integration where you can just type in what you like. So as you can see, it says use 5 words to describe your design. So let's just say, I would like can you design, would like, let's see, sorry, like a post about going to a meeting. And there's no shortage of what you can type in here. The one thing about AI is it's AI, it's artificial intelligence. They will try to interpret what it is that you're asking and give it to you. If it's not, you can always ask again. If you want to elaborate, you can ask it to elaborate. That's the beauty of AI. So say if you wanted to use that, and I'm just going to click enter. So in lieu of going through creating your own post, it actually will come up with, based on what you asked, here's what we think you're looking for. Oh, yummy. You mean I don't have to do any work? You can just pull in any one of these if you like, right? And you can use it from the start. So let's say if I just click on this one, weekly meeting. Oh, I like what they did with this one. You're going to open it up. Say customize this template. Look where we are. We're back at our table. It's done half the work for you. So now maybe you just want to change the wording, like we said before. Maybe you want to change it to weekly, a monthly meeting. You can just do that. So you can start changing the text if you want. You might want to change the date. Oh, we don't want it to be today. Maybe we want it to be Christmas or whatever you would like, right? December. Right? You can still pull in whatever you want over here in your table. All it did is just got you started. That's the difference. Maybe you want to change this picture. Maybe you want to add pictures to it. Maybe you want to change the font. Any of those things that we talked about, you can still do. So that's the beauty of this new Magic Studio that they have. And you're going to see that. It may definitely, I mentioned it because it is new, meaning literally, I don't even think it's 2 weeks old. But it is a way to help you get started if you're not even sure what you want to do, as opposed to starting with a blank slate. All right. So now I'm going to stop and see. I'm going to go back out. I'm going to go back to home. Here's my home button. Home brings me back home. Okay. Let me show you something too. Whenever you open up when you start using Canva, when you start opening up, it will always have, look down here, recent designs. This is something that we just recently did. Love this about Canva because it says, this is what you just designed today or yesterday or the day before. You can take the same thing that you used yesterday and go back in and change it or edit it, as opposed to starting something new. So it will always save. This is your little library of all the things that you have done. These are all posts that I have done in Canva. The nice thing is, so for instance, remember we did certificates? This was great because I was able to do certificates for different people. That was the nice thing about it. And I can go back and edit it. Okay. All right. That is Canva the short version, the easy version. I want you to be able to, if you want to try and sign into Canva, if you want to do it now, I'm going to stay on, and you want to navigate how to create your first post, I want to be here for you. I do want to let you know that if you have any questions about using Canva, I'm always here. To answer some of the questions that were asked before the meeting, if you want to make Word documents, you can do Word documents. It's a similar thing. If you can look right down here, you can go in here into Magic Studio where it says doc, but also where you go to create your design, this refers to a Word document. Someone had asked about that. All right. When you go to create a Word document, I will say too, Word documents can be saved as a Word document, meaning a Microsoft Word document. You can also save your documents as a PDF file. A PDF file is a file that's not necessarily editable, even though now some are, but that's also a file format that you can use for flyers as well. I will say with social media does not necessarily pull up very easily Word documents or PDF files. If you're going to be doing something on social media, you want to refer to, I'm going to say stay with the PNG file for the most part. It will accept some JPEGs. But if you're doing flyers or things that you're going to give outside of social media, your Word docs and your PDF files are always available through Canva as well. Okay, I'm going to stop there unless you guys want me to drive through Canva on some of the other things that are being offered, because I have it opened here. I can do that. Or if you guys want to sign on.
We have a question, Leslie, I can't answer. It says, if you choose the print option, what happens? Janet Adams asked that.
Yep, great question. So if you it doesn't matter really whether you save it as a PNG or a JPEG or a doc or what have you. When you go to print, it will print. It will print a PNG file. It will print a PDF file. It will print a Word document file. Let me show you. Let's go into one. So if I pick out, let me just pick one of my designs. I'll pick the one that we just did. I'm going to go up here to share. I'm going to scroll down. There is a print with Canva. I will tell you, well, I'm going to click on it really quick. I usually just download and print myself. And Canva actually does have a print option. They will print and send things to you, ladies. If you are doing flyers or something to that effect and you don't want to use your ink, they do have a feature where you can print. I'm going to click on it. You can tell it what you want it to print on. Is it a flyer? As you can see, they'll even do it as a booklet. They have all different types of things you want to print it as, a flyer or a postcard or whatever. If you click on what it is you want, they can print it for you as well. There is a charge for that depending on what you ask it to do. I usually will just go in, if I'm just looking for one example, one print, and I don't want to use, and I'm okay with using my ink, I'll just go into print, download. There's a couple of things. Oops, let me go down here. Download it. Once it opens up, open it up here. I'm gonna move my, let's see if I can move this down a little bit. There we go. So as you can see, once it downloads, you have this option over here. I click the three little dots. You can go right here to print. Save as means you can save it in your folder. I always suggest save as, save it in your own little folder on your desktop or your thumb drive or where have you. Always say do that first. But then you can always come back in and just click print. and it'll print to wherever you want it to print. I have it right now. It's set up for, as you can see, just like any other option. This is my own personal print.
We don't see that, Leslie, because with Zoom, you have to reshare when it goes to another screen, but that's okay. I
Oh,
think
okay.
everybody understands. But
Okay.
there's a question here. Um, can you show them how to create a QR code on Canva? Do we have time for that?
Yeah. So I think they actually have where you can do it relatively easy nowadays. So let me go back. I'm gonna go back here. And I'm gonna go to my uploads. And so when you're talking about QR codes, as I'm circling right here, here's my QR code. I think you can actually type in QR codes now. Before I had to search it. Let me see if I'm right, if my spidey senses are telling me right for now. No, I lie. Oh, wait, no, I'm not back in. Let me go back to the design center. Well, it's not doing it there. Hold on. No, I have done them. Here we go.
Thank you.
Yep. So if you search in QR codes, it goes right into here. They do have an app that you can actually use. People use different ways to create a QR code. The easiest thing for me is when I need to do a QR code, I just use one of the photos that they have. As you can see, they have different types of QR codes down here. So depending on what you want to use, they have photos. You can, if I'm going to click on see all, everybody has a different way that they want their QR code to look. If I just click on a basic QR code, the main thing about a QR code is putting in the link. Once you create the link, once you pull in the QR code, you need to make sure you're creating a link to go with it. Right? So, I'm sorry, I may be clicking too fast. So when I click on here, here's my QR code. This is the one that I decided I wanted to use. If you scroll up here, duplicate, delete, that means if I want to delete it, there's these three little arrows right here. Click on the three arrows. You're going to scroll all the way down here where it says link. I hope you can see that. Can you see where I'm pointing link?
Yes.
Great. Click on link. Oops. The main thing is you'll want to have the URL website address that you want to link to your QR code. So if it is, people use QR codes for so many different things. If it is to purchase something, maybe it's a PayPal QR code, you want to put that link in. You have to go to PayPal, and PayPal is cool because it'll actually give you the link. You're going to copy and paste that link here, or you can type that link in here. Do you know what I mean by URL code?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So that's the main thing. Once you put your URL code in here and save it in here, then you're good to go. As you can see, it's really, other than that, it's just a plug and play. Pull it over to your flyer. Say if I wanted to use it for the same flyer, but it's too big. So remember I was talking about sizing. So maybe I want that QR code to be down here at the bottom of my page. You pull it just like any other editing doc and just put it there. And then when your folks come in, they can click on here. So a couple of things with QR codes. I want to be certain. There are some file formats that QR codes can be a little funky with, meaning that, and I think one of them might be PDF. Don't quote me. You might have to test it, where you may save your file as a PDF file and it has the QR code on there. Just test it and make sure that when you go to test it yourself, to go to try to access that QR code, to make sure it's going to your link. I know sometimes with depending on the format, it may not go to the link. Actually, PDF might be the one that actually does work. It may be a little funky with maybe JPEG. But I always say test it out. You can put any type of link in here that you want. It's a great question. It doesn't have to just be for buying something. Maybe it's for registration. Say for your open house today, you created a website link out on Toastmasters 38 for your registration. Take the registration link and put it in your QR code and tell people. You might even want to put in a text. I'm going to go over here to my little text box, add text, click to sign up. All right. And I'm just going to drag it over here. Remember, I did that pull and pull like that. I'm going to go up here to my fonts because we know we can't really see it. So let's try to make it white so we can see it. Oops. Am I not clicking on here? Wait a minute. I'm going to highlight it and see if that will. Sometimes it's tricky. There we go. And there it is. All right. Oh, and while I'm here, if this whole little section right here is too small for you to see, and you're like, I can't see what I'm doing, I want you to scroll down here. There is a little bar, a little box right here. If you see, it says present full screen. When you click on that, it shows your entire flyer. So maybe you want to see it up close and personal to see what it looks like. You can always do that. And then you just escape to come back out. Come back to your table. Great question with the QR code. Another question? Or I hope that works for you, or that answers your question, I should say.
Leslie, there's a comment here. I want to read it to you. It's from Emily Harris.
Okay.
Your presentation is fantastic. I appreciate that you kept it basic. I've been stumbling through creating flyers and TM certificates on Canva for a long time because the tutorials are too complicated. Your workshop will be cutting my time on these projects from maximum to minimum. Thank you, District 38. Thank you, Leslie.
Oh, thank you, Emily. I appreciate that. That's the whole idea, to make it as easy as possible. Absolutely. When you go, and you mentioned the certificate, so yeah, when you go in there, especially now that they have this new Magic Studio, but even before that, you can even type in certificates and in your photos workshop, and it'll bring up some tutorial or graphics, I think it is, and it'll bring up someone's to start with. But I'm glad that helped you. Absolutely.
And Pamela Johnson said she totally agrees with Emily's statement. Thank you for making it simple. We have to get this changed so that people can see everybody's chat, because apparently only I can see it and nobody else can. So I'll have to talk to Rhonda.
I changed it a while,
Did you?
like 30 minutes,
Okay.
40 minutes ago when I realized it. So everyone can chat with everyone else now.
Okay.
Craig did. So we had Craig that posted into the chat.
Okay. Great. Well,
but going forward, it will be open to everyone.
thank you. Well, I want everybody to come on camera, because I'll tell you, this was a powerful, powerful presentation by Leslie, who gave us so much information. And Dorothy Jenkins said she's still inhaling all the information because there was so much information. So it was wonderful information. Please, let's give it up for Leslie. And